there, I'm Shawna Robins, founder and CEO of Third Spark, and today I have the pleasure of doing an Authority Magazine interview with Carrie Asby, a wellness coach, author, retreat founder, and a yogi who's trailblazing the world of ecotherapy and holistic healing. Through one-on-one coaching, daily rituals, nature connections, and soul-nourishing retreats, Carrie helps people slow down, listen inward, and rise into a life that is calm, clear, and rooted in who they truly are. Hi, Carrie.
Hello there.
Well, that sounds all amazing, but I feel like in this day and age, that might be harder to get to with all the noise that's happening right now in the US and in our lives, and with all the different kind of balls in the air that women are handling right now. So, can you tell me just a little bit about what you do and ecotherapy and some of the tools maybe women can use if they're dealing with burnout?
You bet. And especially when times are rough, that is the most important time when we need to turn around and really nurture ourselves and take care of ourselves. What I help guide people in doing is clearing your head, calming your nerves, getting yourself out of that fight or flight state that life puts us in. When life comes at us, our heart rate can go up, our short of breath. We get ourselves in a state, and that state we can't make the best decisions for ourselves. So I help people calm your nerves, get yourself in a good place, and then you can take a breath
Mm.
and you can say, how can I navigate through this the best way possible for myself? How can I deal with this with love and compassion so that I can have the life that I want? So I'm not caught up in that sense of craziness. One of the things that I love to do is I help people step outside, or not even step outside, just have a connection with nature.
Mm.
The modern world, it draws our attention, it drains us. Being in front of the monitor can drain you. Being just everyday life, it drains you. But nature, when you step outside, it gives you a sense of awe, and it just puts you in a better place. So if you're going through these moments where you are finding yourself overwhelmed, you're stressed out, one of the quickest, easiest ways that you can do to just shift your state into a better place so you can feel your best, be your best. Take a deep breath, calm yourself down, step outside, feel the sun on your face, feel the breeze in your hair, listen to the birds. Those sort of things help you get you down, get you into what we rest and digest place, which is you can be in your best state.
Hmm. Okay. Even just talking to you, I feel calmer. I tell you. So tell me about your background. What brought you into this line of work and helping people through this?
I think most people who teach similar things to what I teach have their moment, their rock bottom moment where it shifted them around. So I'm not any different from that situation. I did have a time back in 2013. I was in San Francisco, and it looked like my life was just amazing. I was designing clothes, and I was in fashion shoots and runway shows and making all these cool clothes. But I still had some pain deep inside me that I had not addressed. And I was just making poor decisions after the other. At one time, basically, I had $5 to my name, and you know, poor decision, poor decision, poor decision. And instead of going out and taking really good care of myself and doing something in my best interest, I went out and got completely drunk. And while I was in that state, my purse got stolen out from under me. And I had everything taken, keys to the apartment, wallet, iPhone, everything gone. Couldn't even get into my apartment that night. And spent the night on a friend's floor, made my way back into my apartment the next morning, and sitting on the counter were 8 bottles of unopened wine. And I opened one, drank it, and passed out. And then I drank the other, opened it, passed out. And I continued to do this until I went through all 8 bottles. And when I was waking up after passing out from the 8th time, deep down inside, these words came out from my breath, out from my mouth, saying, "This is not me. This is not Carrie Asby." And that stopped me in my tracks. And that was the first time in my life where I wanted change, but I also was committed to change. And I needed to do something to start taking care of myself. So there was a yoga studio just around the corner from me, and they offered a donation-based yoga. You paid what you could, and if you couldn't afford, they let you in. So I had my yoga mat and went to the morning class, and the teacher, maybe it was because of the state I was in or what he was saying, but it hit me. It was the first time that I realized that I was worthy of love. And that turned my life around. I started doing things differently. I started taking care of myself. And it did make a difference. I was getting rid of toxic relationships. I got a job at Nordstrom's as a stylist. I could financially support myself. And I continued to study yoga, go to yoga and practice it. And a lot of people say, yes, yoga changes you. And it does. But it's not about getting bendy. It's not about the getting pretzel pose and seeing how deep you can bend. Yoga is about taking time to pause and be still without any distractions, without any judgments, and just have a moment to be with yourself, to connect with yourself, and have a beautiful relationship with yourself. And so that was the momentum that kept me going. Was I was learning to love myself, learning to take care of myself, and I was feeling better as I was going through the process. And so that started me down the path of self-love and wellness. And I'm trying to make a long story short here.
It's fascinating. I mean, it's something that I think so many women can resonate with what you're sharing, I mean, please
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. So I continued down my path of mindfulness, but at the same time, so my clothing line was actually a sustainable clothing line. So I was all about taking care of the planet as well. And the more I got involved in the fashion industry, the more I wanted to change the industry because fashion has a very dark, ugly shadow. It does a lot of harm to the planet, it does a lot of harm to people and to animals. So I decided that if I was going to make a change in the industry, I needed to go to the mothership. I needed to go to New York City. So I packed up the U-Haul, drove across the United States with my dog. And once we hit the Big Apple, hit the ground running. I got involved in as many sustainable fashion organizations as I possibly could. So, that path was taking off. I was doing really well in getting involved in environmentalism and helping people understand what was going on, giving them solutions, inspiring change. And then my other path, this time now was teaching yoga, and it was taking off, but they were going in two different directions. And I was like, how am I going to bring these two passions together? And ironically enough, COVID hit in 2020, and I was lucky to get out of New York before it became the epicenter of the pandemic. And I was able to actually, the fun story is I did get the second to last rental car off of Manhattan to get out of there just as quick as possible. And when I left New York, all my work, all my dreams, everything that I had been working for was gone just like that. New York had changed, and the New York that I once knew was no longer there. So now I had to figure out, regroup what I was going to do. And I I knew about mindfulness, I knew about healing with nature, but I didn't know that ecotherapy actually existed. I just knew that nature healed. And right around 2021, maybe 2022, just right after when things were beginning to open up again, I actually was taking a backcountry ski avalanche safety course because I love to go in the backcountry and I needed to refresh my skills on keeping myself alive. And we were heading up to Mount St. Helens to do a on-course training. And I was telling my instructor, I was like, I know people can heal with nature. I know nature can make a difference in our lives. I just don't know how to bring it into what I teach. And he goes, well, it exists. And he has his PhD in ecotherapy.
Ah.
And he's like, there's all these studies, there's all these practices. And that was my little aha. I
Mm.
know how to merge these two together now. I can teach wellness. I can teach people how to take care of themselves and have nature be their number one tool.
I love that. There's so much beyond forest bathing because I feel like when you hear about nature healing, you hear a lot about either grounding or forest bathing, but this is so much larger than that.
Yeah. I mean, we have the term, it's been around for a while, but indigenous people have
Mm.
been practicing it. Um, it's been around, the Greeks have been practicing using nature as a way from heal. It's been around for ages. It's just now becoming more into our consciousness. And yes, you can say forest bathing is a technique, but even having a relationship with your food,
Mm.
knowing where your food came from, and taking enough time to actually savor the taste and instead of gobbling it all down, that is a way. I mean, consuming nature is the most intimate way we have a relationship we have with nature. So knowing where your food came from is a form of ecotherapy. Having a pet,
Mm.
having a relationship with a cat or your dog or whatever fuzzy little creature you have around, having those moments, because that keeps you into the present. When you are just sitting with your cat, no distractions, playing and engaging with them, you know how joyful and peaceful that does and what it brings to you. So that is also a form of ecotherapy. So yes, it's very vast. It's not just um, having that forest, which forest bathing is awesome, something I love to guide people with. But there's so many different avenues that you can take with it as well.
Wow. Okay. So tell me a little bit about this mindfulness. You sort of touched on it. I know that's part of what you teach too, kind of this, the combination of nature and mindfulness, nature bringing you mindfulness, becoming more mindful of nature. It seems like they have quite a symbiotic relationship when it comes to our own physical health and well-being.
Mm-hmm. Stress has a huge detrimental effect on our physical and mental well-being. And we are always our culture, especially Western culture, we have so much things that stress us out, that just getting up in the morning and trying to get ready, if you have a family, trying to get the family ready, getting everyone out the door, just trying to get to work. When you get to work, you've got stuff to deal with, your coworkers, that your people are engaging, and it's not always going to, so that brings your heart rate up,
Mm.
that gets you short of breath, that clenches your jaw. Those things have a will affect you. They will, your overall health. And how do I say this? So we need to counter that. We need to keep ourselves in balance. And so mindfulness is a way to keep you baseline. Our thoughts, we can get too far ahead. Everything that we have to do, everything that we're anticipating, that is not the present moment. You have no control of what's going to happen in the next minute, let alone, the next week. So when you get too caught up in the future, that brings you anxiety, that gives you fear. The opposite of that when our mind goes way too much into the past. Oh, I should have done this. And this is, there's dread, there's regret, there's guilt. You can't go back and change it. What's done is done. So when you carry those two things around with you, it's that stress that can bring you down. Mindfulness is about being in the present moment where reality really happens, where you can see things much more clear. You can also keep a connection with yourself. You're not caught up in dread. You're not caught up in anxiousness. When you are able to be present, you can connect with yourself. So that's the beautiful thing about mindfulness is just being here, being now, where life really happens. It gives you that clarity. It gives you that sense of stability, and it keeps you in a really good state.
Mhm.
And the best, I mean, nature, like I was mentioning before, it draws your attention. You step outside and all you have to do is close your eyes and feel the sun in your face, and you can feel yourself relax. It's accessible. Nature is everywhere. So it's you don't even have to go into the woods. You can it's look around you and use that to help you be in this moment.
So what about people who live in a city or a more urban environment, or if they live in, northern climates where they don't have a lot of sunlight or it gets cold and it's hard to be outside? What tools do you recommend for them to be able to connect with nature? Besides the pets, like you mentioned, obviously that's a great one.
Yeah, you can bring nature to you. You can have house plants. You can a lot of times you can also the I do this when I'm in situations when I can't get outside is there's playlists that sounds of the water or the rain or birds chirping. If you close your eyes and listen to one of those playlists, you can open up your window and just close your eyes. It depends. If you're in a city, obviously you're going to hear horns and honking and stuff like
Right.
that. But let's say it's in the evening and everything's silent, and you can open up your window and look at the stars. Even if it's not a sunny day, you can look out and watch the clouds. They're always,
Okay.
something's going on in the sky that's always going to be accessible.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's really helpful because I know that sometimes people feel disconnected from nature because of the weather or because of their situation of where they live, and then I feel like it impacts their mental well-being. I see it impact their sleep in the people that I coach with, where they're not getting enough daytime sunlight or they're not getting enough time outside. And they go from, like you said, one screen to the next, right? One stressful
mhm.
situation to the next. Where do you pause? Where do you take what I call the do nothing time, right, in your day?
Yeah, I it first it takes a little bit of awareness where you're saying, okay, this is a state that I don't want to be in. I need to do something. And if you haven't gone into the habit of doing that, you can remind yourself. You can put a reminder on your calendar every hour. Take a breath. Close your eyes and take a deep breath and listen to open up your window. What can you hear? Or look at the flowers that are on your patio or something like that. You can start reminding yourself. You can put post-it notes up. Um, Also, make sure that your refrigerator and pantry are full of foods that are not processed, that are fresh, that are something you can have a little nibble on a freshly picked radish. I mean, just savor that. That's a moment to keep you present and nurturing. And once it becomes, you might have to remind yourself every now and then, but once you start doing it, you realize that you see it works, and you're like, I like the way this feels. And then you start craving it. And then it starts becoming something that you do automatically because it feels better to be in that state than it is to not take care of yourself. So it's about the consistency. It's not about how much. It's just about continuing to do a little bit each day on and on. And then it becomes a pattern, and then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes your daily life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. The butterfly effect. is I believe what that's called. And I love to teach that. And I'm glad that you do too. I think it's such an easy way for people to make small but powerful changes that over time make a big difference in the direction of their health.
Yeah, yes.
So tell me a little bit about your book. I'm curious to learn about that.
Thank you for asking. It is called Your Morning Ritual: Mindful Habits for Peace and Resilience. I call it a ritual instead of a routine, because a routine is something that you just, it's a checklist. Get up, go to the gym, have tea, journal, da, da, da. And that is when you start doing routines, it's autopilot, and there's no thought process behind it. A ritual is about the intention. So a morning ritual is about what can I do to take care of myself. And I guide people on helping them nurture your mind, nurture your body, getting yourself in a good state. I like to say you're putting on your love shield. So when you step out into the real world and things come at you, you're already taken care of. You're already in a good place. So you can kind of reflect that negative energy and pause and then move forward. So it is a guide about nurturing your mind and body so that you can navigate through life with your best interest, with love. And the book does come with an online video toolkit. So each book there at the very beginning gives you accessible, or you can log into the videos and they help you with the process as well.
That's wonderful. Okay, so where can people find your book?
They can find my book on either my website, carrieasby.com, or you can also go to Barnes and Noble website and order one from there, and they'll ship it directly to you.
Great, thank you. And how many classes do you have? What the online classes that you have, are they related to this as well? And each chapter, does it have a class or how did you set it up?
Yeah, so the online course is called Step into Self-Love. It is the same framework as the book, but like I like to say, the book is the blueprint where I hand it over and you do it yourself. The online course is sitting down and I walk you through it. And I understand that people have busy lives. So each class, each little segment is only about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes a day, so that you can manage it into your daily life. And with the course, actually, the online course, we meet once, I call it my morning chat, once a week, Wednesday mornings, get together, live, sit down, talk with me, share whatever you have going on. And I also release a recorded yoga class every week. So I just keep you moving, keep myself available, and you have access to the course whenever you need it.
That's amazing. Is that on your website as well too? All of
It
it?
is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for spending the time with me today. I mean, I legitimately feel more relaxed just talking to you and having you remind me that in this moment, all is well, and all I have to do is breathe and be presently aware with what's happening. So I really, that was such a gift for me. I really needed this today. So I hope that whoever watches this will also be able to take that away.
Well, I'm so grateful that I was able to help, and I'm very honored for the giving me time to share what I have to say. So thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks, Carrie.